Lord. There is a God. So young Zoe was raised in a family of 5 in a Catholic home, and he was an altar boy back in the 50s. And because he was quite the altar boy, he was selected to assist with Mass when special guest priest came. And on a particular day, when he was 9 years old, a missionary came to do Mass and to visit their parish. After Mass that day, young Zoe was in the changing room, back where the priest and the altar boys take off their vestments and put them back where they belong. And it was in that very room that that missionary sexually assaulted Zoe. And Zoe remembers not quite being there mentally throughout. He disconnected, and he has some memory of his physical body still being there, but he just remembers his mind being someplace else so that he could separate from the pain and from the betrayal. So he had to go back to class after this, and he did, and he remembers being in the coat room of the school, ready to go back to his class, but not wanting to come out of that coat room because he thought everybody would see what had happened to him and that they would be able to know his pain and, at that moment, his shame, even though the shame was not his. But he did end up going to class, because if you don't go back to class, then you get in trouble. So he went through class, made it through, still kind of disconnected from life. And he went home, and he remembers his mother being there. And he says he doesn't know what he told her, but he blurted something out about the incident. And his mother got angry at him and yelled and said, "How could you accuse a priest of such a thing? How could you?" And again, Zoe was in this place of pain. Up until then, his mother had been the only source of comfort in his home. His father was an alcoholic and was often angry and mean and unpredictable. Life was walking on eggshells in their home, and so now his mother is no longer safe. And what does a 9-year-old boy do with that? What's a 9-year-old boy do with that? But he did what he learned at home, which was to go to the liquor bottles under the sink in the kitchen and to drink. And so he started drinking and doing drugs at a very, very early age in order to protect himself, to shield himself from thinking and from feeling. And he drank a lot. And his mother took him to doctors to find out what was wrong with him. Nobody was picking up the fact that he was drinking, but they thought maybe he just had a nervous condition and he was under stress. And again, his mother got angry because she's figuring, what does a 9-year-old have to be stressed about? And so again, he retreats even further back into himself. And he did that for about 15 to 20 years. Drugs and alcohol, just shielding himself, building up a mental, a physical, an emotional wall around him. All this time, everybody was telling him was wrong. And now everyone is telling him that you can't trust yourself. You can't share your voice. You can't share your pain because it's not okay and your pain is wrong. You can't say those things. You can't speak your truth. You just can't. And so he moved about the world trying to please and trying to be what people needed him to be, because that's the message he got, that you need to be something else other than what you are in order for us to accept you. And so he did that into his 30s. And he said that the time when he started to wake up and find some road towards healing happened when his mother was battling cancer. And at this point, they know she's dying, and she was taking this, what they called a cocktail of drugs. And the time for her to take this cocktail was over, so she said she thought she wanted him to return it to the hospital, take the cocktail back because she wasn't needing it anymore. So he hears the word cocktail, and he thinks, well, maybe I should just take this. And he said for the first time in his young life, something screamed within him, no. Just no, don't take it. Don't take it. And he didn't. It's the first time he ever listened to his inner voice. Short time after, he was referred to somebody to talk to, because he was really just not coping with life. And he ended up with a therapist who suggested he go to AA and NA. Actually, he said it probably was just AA because NA might not have been in existence at the time. But he didn't want to go. But the person he was referred to was a police officer, and he said, look, you can either go to jail or you can go to AA. Neither of which he wanted, but he said, I'll take the AA. And so he started to go to AA, and it was there that he started to hear about a power greater than yourself and surrendering to it. None of which he bought at the time. But at least there were some things that started to resonate with him and speak to him about some truth. Something that he felt in his heart. Something that rang true for him like nothing had ever rung true for him in the past. And so he started to listen, and he went to group. And he went every day, and he did what he was supposed to do. And things started to work out. And then he started to hear more about spirituality, and he ended up then at some point in religious science and started to hear about divinity, and not just divinity, some sky god out there that was some man with a beard who was meting out grace or punishment or something like that, but that there was this energy called love that was within him, and that was him, and that spoke to him. He started to realize that that was truth for him. He started to find a voice within himself, something that he could truly hold on to, something that he could live with, something that informed him about himself, something that helped him open up his heart and start to peel away the layers of armor that he had built around himself and his heart and his mind. Something that allowed him to be truly Zoe in the world and to discover what that is. That started a 30-year journey of spiritual discovery. And like I read early, of tasting life. Not just hearing about life, not just going to others to find out what life is, but really testing life, living life, digesting life, and making it real for himself so that he could heal and not just survive what happened to him, but to thrive in later life. Zoe is now in his mid-70s, and he's now a religious science practitioner. He's a therapist. He's a counselor. Zoe helps other people move through their pain and heal. Zoe has found meaning for what happened to him. Zoe has been able to construct a self-worth and a self-esteem, neither of which he had before. Because whatever self-esteem or self-worth he had when he was a little boy, when he was a teenager, when he was in his 20s, was built upon that incident. The victimization that he experienced at the hands of somebody he should have been able to trust. Not just with his body and his mind and his heart, but with his soul. Now, he is a healer. And he's a friend of mine. And he has helped me with my own pain. And he has helped me heal on a deeper level. And he's helped many, many others. Zoe took teachings of New Thought, of religious science, which are similar to Unity's philosophy, and used it for his life. Found meaning in it. He worked with it. It worked with him. He thought about it. He meditated on it. He asked questions about it within himself. He trusted himself. He trusted his heart like he had never trusted his heart before. All of that came from within him. All of it came from within him. Some of it shepherded by people I'll call angels that showed up at different times. The police officer, other therapists, other counselors, other people in his AA group, his NA group, who gave him some wisdom, but it was the work he did, the tasting that he did, the experiencing that he did with these principles, with this philosophy, that changed his life. Did a complete 180. Took something that could have been devastating and turned it into gold. Turned it into gold. That's the power of saging, I think. That section on saging in that book I have read probably 10 or 12 times just to take it in. And for me, to taste it and digest it and to be able to wear it, to know wisdom, to know that saging is something I do. It's not somebody out there. And that the wisdom itself, the source, is life, is God, is this thing within us that calls to us, that voice that told him, no, don't take that chemo cocktail, don't touch it. That was source speaking to him. And he recognized that voice as something he could trust. when he couldn't trust any other voice in his life, including the voices of his own parents. Look at the healing that can be done if we will taste life ourselves. If we don't run from the pain, if we don't run from our trauma, if we don't run from the darkness, if we don't run from the noise, if we don't run from the very things that are speaking to us on a regular basis, the messages of caution, the red flags that come up about the things in our lives, if we don't run from them, if we pay attention, if we let ourselves face what's there right in front of us, if we let ourselves be in it, if we let ourselves be it, then we're truly tasting. When we taste food, we take it in, we digest it, and it comes to nourish the body. When we taste life, we digest life and what is happening, and we let it nourish our spirits, our hearts, our minds. But only if we're willing to taste. Zoe could have had every master that's ever walked this planet speak to him about healing, but if Zoe had not been willing to taste that and do the work himself, it wouldn't have mattered who spoke to him. Because it's not about the wise person, it's about the wisdom. It's not about sage the noun, it's about sage the verb. It's about taking in life even when it's bitter. I remember when my mother used to give me, whenever I had an upset stomach, my parents always went to the Pepto-Bismol. I hate Pepto-Bismol. Oh, I might be sick before it comes out, but I'm definitely sick. When I smell it, when I see it, oh, the texture. Oh, it's disgusting, yes. Who thought that was a good idea? And I remember when my mother would bring out the Pepto-Bismol, my lips would shut so tight. And yes, open your mouth. And I'm saying, no. You thought I was going to lose my cookies before. I'm definitely going to lose them now. I was not tasting that. I didn't care what it was going to do for my stomach. I don't care. But sometimes we need the medicine. Sometimes we need to taste. Even when we're going, no. If we'll just say yes to tasting, if we'll just say yes to the experience, no matter how bitter, no matter how dark, no matter how heavy, just say yes. And the resources, the people, whatever it is you're supposed to read, hear, the next song that plays on the radio, the next movie you watch, the next friend that makes what you think is a happenstance remark, all of that starts to rush towards us if we'll say yes. And then we get to digest those things. The answers always come if we say yes. And then you get affirmation as you're walking through the darkness. And the operative word there is through the darkness. Through. Keep walking, keep tasting, keep digesting, keep saying yes. No matter how long it takes, his journey was 20 to 30 years. And as I interviewed him yesterday about that experience, he had a new layer of healing just from that story, telling it again. And he's told it numerous times. But yesterday was different, he said. Yesterday was another level. 60 years from the incident, life is still giving him something to heal his heart. Because he said yes. Because he said yes. And because he's willing to taste. So we're always at choice. Always, always, always. You can listen to the pundits, the influencers. You can listen to the 6 billion people who have podcasts. You can listen to all the people on social media. You can listen to all the people who think they have the right advice for you. You can. And they might have some good things to say. But until you're ready to internalize that, until you're ready to digest it, until you're willing to make it your own in a way that speaks to you, and to recognize, be willing to recognize truth when you feel it here. When you allow it to come from here, through here, down to the heart, and let it rock your inner world. Until you do that, it's all smoke and mirrors. All smoke and mirrors. It doesn't matter what darkness you have. It doesn't matter what pain you have. It doesn't matter what conflict you are wrestling with. It doesn't matter how long it's been there. 60 years now, he's still healing. And he's in a good place, but there's still healing to do. There's still something else for him to recognize within himself that he didn't know before yesterday morning. So will you say yes? Are you willing to taste? Are you willing to digest? Are you willing to do the work? It's all up to you. It's all up to what kind of peace you want. Do you want to pretend you have peace? When people ask you how you are, do you want to say, yeah, I'm fine. I'm good. Knowing that all you feel here is darkness. Knowing you're lying. Knowing that maybe at some point somebody's going to look at you and say, no, you're not. I've had that experience when I said, I'm fine. And I had an insightful friend say, no, you're not. And we went back and forth with that until he had me in tears and willing to open up about the problem. What are you willing to do for yourself? For your own heart, for your own mind, for your own life? Are you willing to live full out because you went fully in? Are you willing to do that? It's up to you. You can have the life you choose. That's where we are right now. You have the life you've chosen, whether you've chosen it unconsciously or consciously. So if you choose it consciously, and you choose to go deep, and you choose to say yes in every moment to the goodness that life with a capital L that God has for you, sitting here waiting for you to say yes. And you can have peace that you've never experienced before. You got to ask that question, what do I want? How far into my own darkness am I willing to walk? Knowing that if I just can be still in this moment, I can know God, and God can start to speak to me and help me, direct me, guide me, shepherd me to all the things I need, every single thing I need to heal. Heal deeply, heal fully. and to know joy again in a way that I've never known joy before. Let's take this in a meditation. What needs to be healed? All of us have something. All of us have had our hearts broken at some point by something, someone. All of us have had something that we have not wanted to look at, that we didn't want to taste. All of us have had somebody betray us. And that betrayal rocked our world because we didn't see it coming. What are you willing to look at now? Are you willing to see it? Are you willing to walk through it? Are you willing to find God in the weeds? Are you willing to find that point of light that's always in the darkness, waiting for us to say yes? What are you willing to walk through? Are you willing to reach for peace and joy? Are you willing to withstand the fire and the flames? Are you willing to take a deep breath after life has punched you in the gut? Are you willing to listen to the voice within you, the voice that is you, that is love? Are you willing to peel off the armor you've built up around your heart, your mind, your soul, your body? So that you can be truly free. So that all you see is the light of love that we are all bathed in. Are you willing to recognize your own divinity? And build a self-esteem, a self-worth based on that which is eternal, which is always love, always strength and power, always wise, always harmonious, always beautiful, always true, always, always, always. Are you willing to find your true voice? Are you willing to wipe away the illusion of separateness? For love has always been you. Even before you reach this physical plane, love is what you were and are now and will always be. What do you want? To stay hidden in the darkness, closeted by your pain. Or are you willing to step forward into life? Step fully into life, into the light that is God, that is you. Arms wide open. Arms wide open. Be still, brothers and sisters, and know that God is. Know that God is. Know that whatever the darkness, whatever the pain, it's not greater than the love that is God. No matter how long you've held it, no matter how long it can be healed, and you can be free like you've never been free before. You can have joy like you've never had before. You can have peace like you've never had before. So let's take a deep breath and say yes and thank you for healing, for light, for love, for God, for the ability, the freedom to choose life in love and goodness in every moment. We say yes. We say yes, 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 yes. Because we know that source is truth and beauty and love. We claim what we want in life with thanksgiving and appreciation. That is our yes. That starts the flood of goodness into our lives. Let's breathe in, yes, and exhale, thank you. Breathe in, yes, and exhale, thank you. Breathe in, yes, and exhale, thank you. And so it is, and so it shall be.